Today, I bring you a character I have wanted to talk about for such a long period of time, but I've never known how to introduce him because he is such an enigma. If I did a video detailing everything this guy had done, the video would probably be as long as a pyrocynical video, not a pyroslop video. And I'm, of course, talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Joshua Block, or, as you probably know him, World of T-Shirts. So if you don't know who this character is, you might consider yourself extremely lucky, or maybe on the other hand, not enlightened, because there is a lot to learn from World of T-Shirts. Joshua Block, like I said, is a TikToker, and he lives in Long Island. And he basically became very popular in New York City for just kind of walking around. Like I'm not even joking. His earlier videos, he would just walk around, not really doing anything. But now, because of a lot of controversies and public appearances, he has amassed over 2.5 million followers. By the way, if you're wondering, yes, that is a Gamer Subs cup. Here's the art of it. Definitely not provocative at all. I was going to ask for it to be larger, but they wouldn't let me. Now, originally, World of Shirts, or Joshua, he was doing like kind of, I guess, tour guides across New York. So if you went up to him and said, "Hey, Josh, could you show me around New York?" he would be more than happy to. It would be his personal pilgrimage. Now, unfortunately with Josh, his mother did pass away back in 2015. And apparently, from his own words, he's had a bit of an absentee father. So he traveled all the way from Virginia to Long Island to meet his grandfather. And then in the blessed year of 2019, while still in high school, Josh started his TikTok career. Now, like many TikTokers or people posting for the first time, their first videos are nothing like what they post now. And some of the viral videos he had when first starting out, there is no reason why they should be viral.
I'll be honest, I don't really understand, but I fell down the stairs and now I got glue on my hand.
Another example here is him eating gummy sweets and just documenting what happens. Surprisingly, if you eat something with food coloring, it changes the color of your tongue.
So these will change the color of your tongue permanently for weeks. We're gonna put these in my mouth and wait 10 minutes. It's not coming off. Shit.
Now, 2021 is when Josh really blew up. This is like when his fame came in spades. Apparently, at one point, even being dubbed the King of New York, which is a very difficult title to obtain. I assume, like, to be the King of New York, you basically have to have billions of dollars in cash or be one of the biggest drug dealers within the country. Now, one thing Josh was really known for was singing the song Empire State of Mind by Alicia Keys.
In New York, concrete.
You know the song, we've all heard it before. New York, concrete. I mean, I can't even sing anymore because YouTube will probably think it's like the actual song and block the video. Now, like I said, Josh, he wasn't from New York, but he is obsessed with New York City. He loves it. It's his second home, his home away from home.
I run this city! Me! This is my city! New York's mine!
And if you're wondering, yes, I have some good news. World of T-Shirts does, in fact, sell T-shirts. Now, looking at his merch page here, unfortunately, he doesn't actually sell any T-shirts that say World of T-Shirts. It just says banned, because I assume at some point he's been banned off the platform. He's even selling the same glasses that he wears. I don't even know if that's like... How did he do that? Now, a lot of people don't actually know where the name World of T-Shirts came from. So this was originally a school program to help kids with disabilities. Basically, just to try and give them a leg up. Probably shouldn't say leg up. Give them some kind of support in life. Yeah, just keep that in. It's kind of funny. And one of these activities, apparently, was making a business and selling products to both students and teachers. Now, in the past year or so, there have been hundreds of videos titled like The Downfall of World of T-Shirts, Joshua Block is finished. I'm probably going to call it something like that just for the sense of clickbait. But on one of these exposed videos, there was actually a very good YouTube comment where someone says that they actually knew him personally. I know this is the equivalent of source, my arse, but still, it does give a bit of insight. I'm going to add some insight as I knew this kid from high school. Josh was always extremely socially inept. He would walk away in the middle of conversations and didn't understand that lots of people were making fun of him. He was on the track team and he would do all kinds of crazy shit. The team would run at Sunken Meadow State Park in Kings Park for practice. He was known to eat live crabs and worms off the bench and dirt of the track. He would also pee off the side of the hills towards oncoming runners. As for World of T-Shirts, that's a brand name he came up with. My school has programs programs for kids with disabilities and tries to help them out in life. One of the activities was creating a business and selling products to students and teachers, which is where the name comes from. He actually sold t-shirts before he was famous. He began to blow up in 2020. Now, like I said, as part of his obsession with New York, Joshua, World of T-Shirts, he does actually have scheduled tours. You can organize him to be your tour guide. I'm not sure if you'd want that. That's kind of on you. So he has a website here, and it is beautiful. Wait, have I got this on dark mode? Maybe because I got it on dark mode. Think your New York vacation can't get any better? Think again. Book your East Village and North Brooklyn tour inspired by World of T-Shirts on TikTok. New York's only multi-borough walking tour. I'm sure if you squint your eyes and look close enough at this picture, you can probably see some people like dealing meth in the street. Now, like I said, Joshua did become quite famous, even at one point having himself put on an entire New York billboard in Times Square. I like how they gave him the tagline, King of the Concrete Jungle. Man, what a title to have there. Now, Joshua was networking to an insane degree, kind of like that one song that 6ix9ine and Kanye West did, which was just very bizarre networking. But he did appear on one very popular TikTok account, Sidewalk NYC, which basically does a bunch of street interviews, and they have over 1.5 million followers on Instagram. So in the video, he basically walks around talking how he's been banned from a Gucci store, and then of course singing, you know, Empire State of Mind, as you do. But then when people recognize him and they go up to take a picture, he starts asking them for money, saying he won't take a picture unless he gets paid $25.
Concrete jungle where dreams are made. Got Louis Vuitton because I'm banned from the Gucci store.
Can you tell the people about your level of clout?
I'm like movie star famous. I can't go anywhere without getting recognized.
Can I get a picture with you?
That'll be $25.
Now, I do want to say I've been approached myself in public many times. The minimum I will take a picture is $50, but memes aside, you can just set up a cameo and kind of do that. I don't really think you should be charging your fans for pictures. These are the people that kind of look up to you and stuff. A little bit weird, but you know, as you do, like we need to understand the New York mindset, the World of T-Shirts mindset. And apparently with Josh, there's an ongoing joke that he's been banned from loads and loads of social media apps. Obviously, TikTok is that's his bread and butter, that's his mainstay. But apparently, out of all the apps you could think of that he's been banned from, he's been banned from Tinder. Now, memes aside, one problem Josh is facing at the minute, which is basically where this whole spiraling came from, is his alcoholism. He drinks a lot. And the worst thing is, originally, he never really used to drink. He just talked about how much he loved coffee. But recently, he has really, really got into alcohol. And if you go onto any of his TikToks, a third of them will basically be him downing some kind of spirit, some 40% spirit, and just drinking excessively to the point where he gets like hangovers multiple times a day or even blacks out. Like, I remember one video that was going viral for quite a while is how, like, you know, he was at a restaurant and he was talking about how he lost his wallet, and apparently that was like the third time he lost it today. And like I said, there's been some very weird videos of Josh, like this one video where he's like stamping on a fish and then he does like a response video to stamping on said fish. Now, apparently his cope was he was told that the fish was already dead. It wasn't a live fish. I mean, I don't really know that many fish that can actually survive on land, just like, you know, flopping down the street like a Magikarp. But apparently he also said that he was basically set up by the guy recording, that he was told it was dead.
Okay, so a lot of people are upset about a leaked video of me stomping on a fish. First of all, the fish was already dead. The person who recorded me without my permission. They didn't pay the cameo, so they weren't even supposed to record me, but they posted it to set me up so that they would have an excuse to try and cancel me. I did not kill anything. The fish was already dead.
I'm pretty sure you can look at a fish. If it's alive, it's probably going to flip-flop a little bit. If it's dead, it probably won't flip-flop a little bit. So I don't really understand how he can't make that discernment. But the best part of all, Josh clearly at this point has a bit of an ego, because he says at one point in the response video, he can't be cancelled because he has a monopoly on NYC roaming videos. So bro thought he bought Kensington on the Monopoly board and he's just sat there camping it. And of course, like literally every single human being in America that gets any kind of internet clout, he got swatted. Of course he did. I've done so many videos talking about people being swatted. It's a joke now. And because of the swatting, he was basically kicked out of the hotel that he was staying at.
Thanks a lot, haters, for getting me kicked out of my hotel. Now I have to stay at a different hotel for the night, and I'm gonna sleep the whole day away tomorrow. I'm gonna throw up with this whole cancel culture thing. See you in the morning. I guess I'm gonna have to charge back the money I spent on the other hotel.
One of the biggest events that Josh ever had, like for controversies, was back in 2021 when he went to Cancun in Mexico. I'm probably butchering that word, I apologize. And he got absolutely plastered because he drinks excessively, constantly. And when Josh finally turned 21, the legal drinking age in America, he walked around on a TikTok live, like showing off a flask, I think of like whiskey or some kind of spirit, like baiting the cops to come over to him because he can like legally drink now.
Look at how realistic it looks.
So at this point, Josh is still roaming around New York, Times Square, like all the big populated areas, but he is drinking a lot, an insane amount. And when he drinks, he becomes quite aggressive. So when someone comes up to him, tries to be a little bit snide to him, he always responds with the classic catchphrase, "I will sue you."
I'll sue every single viewer in this stream for millions of dollars. I'll be the richest man in the world. Fucking jerks. I will. If you don't have money, I'll go after your parents.
Yeah.
And sue them.
And during this time, Josh would get up to some hilarious LMAO antics, like for example, licking the bottom of a subway car. Now, I want to imagine in your head, Arthur Morgan, when he gets TB, like pretty late into the game, and he's like coughing up blood, he's dying. Whatever disease is on that subway car that Josh licked, he's going to be like that, but 10 times worse, guaranteed. Here's another video, for example, where he licks the floor some more, and then he jumps into the Hudson River. I do want to point out as well, the Hudson River is not clean. That is basically like jumping into the Thames in the UK. Dirty mud water. He's going to get at least hypothermia, probably some kind of actual illness. Now, sometime in 2022, Joshua's luck changes, for better or for worse, depending on who you ask, because he bumped into Michael Quinn, another TikToker. Now, this guy was apparently at the time a hot dog shop owner, but considering the job, pretty wealthy, very well off. Now, Quinn started to get World of T-shirts hooked on some pretty bad habits, like for example, smoking. Now, I know people are going to say like, smoking? Really, bro? I mean, the guy's like an adult. He can do what he wants. He can make his own choices. But that being said, if you've seen a lot of Joshua's videos, you can tell that he definitely has some kind of learning disability. So obviously, if you go up to Josh and just offer him something, 9 times out of 10, he's not going to kind of think it through and he will just take it. And because of his personality, like with alcohol, he will get hooked on it. Now, overall, this Quinn guy seems to be just a very bad influence for World of T-shirts, getting him hooked onto, you know, various substances and kind of paying for, even at some points, for his alcohol binging. Another problem started to arise when Josh basically came out himself and said, like, he doesn't have enough money. He's not making enough money from TikTok, which I gotta be honest, I am so happy that I'm a YouTuber and not a TikToker, because the pay on YouTube, it could be better. Like, I'm only a billionaire, not a trillionaire. But that being said, the payment system on TikTok is absolutely horrendous. I think they use something called like a stars system, and that's like 2 to 4 cents for like every 1,000 views. Now, Josh obviously isn't just doing TikTok for income. He's been doing various other jobs as well to make ends meet.
No, I didn't get the creator fund yet, but I got paid from work.
For example, at one point, he was apparently a janitor at a high school. That was the same high school he went to, by the way, and he also works sometimes at Dairy Queen. But again, that being said, it is really hard to imagine how this guy is holding like multiple jobs, or at least like one part-time job, when he is drinking so much to the point that he's basically waking up like blackout hungover every single day. Now, some people have had a little bit of a MatPat game theory and basically theorized that he's not really making any money, he's just getting money sent from his grandfather. And because Josh has a credit card, not a debit card, you can go into your overdraft, so he might actually have quite a lot of debt.
My credit limit is only $1,500.
And now we enter the year of our Lord, 2023, which is by far the worst year yet for Josh. Now, in 2023, Josh went to Italy, and what do people do in Italy? They drink a lot, they eat a lot of pasta, and then they drink more. Have you seen the cast of The Sopranos? I don't think any of them aren't morbidly obese. And then when he went to America, you'd think, okay, he's had a bit to drink. He's had a good time. Maybe now he's a reformed man. A holiday clears the mind. No, he just went straight back to drinking and went blackout drunk on the day. And this is the really sad part. So, you know that tour website he's got, World of T-shirts, where you can get a tour guide with Josh while he shows you the Wait, those towers collapsed. The stock exchange, there's like a bridge. I kind of forget New York, honestly. Well, apparently, during those tours, it's Quinn, the hot dog guy, basically doing the tours. Meanwhile, Josh is kind of just like stood in the background, like morbidly hungover because he's been drinking so much the night before. Now, with Josh, we have a new contender. Someone else that might actually be as much of a degenerate as Josh, if not more so. And that is, of course, Daniel Larson. Now, Daniel Larson, if you don't know that name, thank God. Now, in 2021, someone convinced Daniel Larson that Joshua, World of Shirts, was talking shit about him. And I do want to say, by the way, this is not by no means the first time that Daniel has believed someone just saying something on the internet and then took it as fact. It's kind of like those comments you see on TikTok when someone gets like arrested or, you know, some kind of accident happens, and then you'll see someone in the comments being like, I used to work with that guy. Yeah, it's like, source, my ass. Great, cheers, mate. And then in 2022, Joshua challenged Daniel to a boxing match. It's always a boxing match. It's what has KSI done, bro? Him and Joe Weller have like, they have ruined the internet. So Quinn, the hot dog guy that was like filling Joshua's cigarette quota, he started backing up World of T-shirts. However, after some time, that did change a little bit. So, like I've said, Daniel Larson, for the majority of his career, I wouldn't even call it a career, I'd just more say he's coping, he's been homeless. But despite being homeless, broke, having no money, living on the streets, and living on the other side of the country, managed to scurry his way over to New York to meet up with Joshua. Now, a lot of people do have another game theory about this, that it was like a fan that basically paid to fly him over, you know, cover all of his travel expenses. I'll be honest, it's probably true. They just want to watch these two people have like meeting of the minds.
Michael Quinn is threatening right now to attack me. Michael Quinn is threatening to attack me. This message is for Michael Quinn. I will go to New York City, and you can't stop me.
Who the f*** gave Daniel Larson my home address? I don't need him showing up here.
And then when Michael heard about this, Quinn, the cigarette hot dog guy, he claimed that he had been doxxed for some reason. And then he goes on to say that he will be looking into hiring bodyguards.
All right, so get this. I'm hiring a security detail even larger than the one that Donald Trump has to defend World of T-shirts from Daniel Larson, as well as his belongings from Uber.
Now, this is where the lore gets very confusing. This is like when they start making spin-off shows on something successful. So Daniel goes on to say that he was jumped by fans of Joshua, you know, acting like he's got ups in the area or something. I don't really understand why. Like, I don't think Joshua has that kind of fan base that would attack people in public to defend Joshua. I think more like Daniel's fan base, you have people that watch and then kind of laugh at you.
So, this is what I look like after I got assaulted by two fans in New York City in 2023. Fortunately, I don't have any fractures that I know of. I did have a fairly good-sized cut on my nose, but that's about it.
But apparently, this is not the full story because Daniel Larson got into a fight with a bodega employee. So he wasn't jumped, he basically got into a fist fight, mostly because Daniel was the one that actually punched first, despite acting like he was the victim. And around the same day, he tried to go into Quinn's apartment to like confront him.
Daniel Larson attempted to enter the lobby of my home. So we stopped by my doorman, who called up to me on the phone. I could hear Daniel's voice in the background. My doorman told Daniel numerous times to leave.
But thankfully, he was, you know, stopped in the lobby. But then, after a small passage of time, finally, peace was restored, and there were TikToks posted of both Joshua and Daniel Larson enjoying each other's company truly to the fullest. Basically, like the he has his own merch in the form of a sailor's cap that he would wear across New York every single day, 24/7. I'm convinced this thing is either super glued to his head or stitched onto his scalp. Now, I said that for a bit. Unfortunately, it's not the case because there are various videos of people running up to Josh and going, ah, yoink, mine now. And then they run down the street and there's someone filming, like Josh having a complete breakdown, chasing the guy to get his sailor cap back that was probably worth like $3.
That day, Whoa! Why did you take that? Get back here, you little thief! Stop him! Stop him! Stop him! Stop him!
The situation with Joshua is very, very bizarre, and I'll be honest, the only reason I'm even talking about it or even heard of him is because someone that I know personally, Daniel Mack, the TikToker guy that goes, "What do you do for a living, bro?" I met that guy, and I met his editor, Blake, both really nice guys.
It may be a little cringe, but I'm going to ask you what you do for a living to start it out.
But they actually met Joshua in person and did the same bit with him, asking him what he does for a living. And the response he gives, it's beautiful.
Josh, what do you do for a living?
I'm the captain of New York.
Let's go, baby!
I have East Village and Brooklyn tours, and I have cameos.
There we go,
I
baby!
make good money. I don't have to work a 9 to 5. In New York!
Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. Let's go, baby! Let's go!
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. This comes out in November. This comes out in like a week or 2 weeks. You know that TV that comes on at like 3 in the morning and they're just like shilling products everywhere? We should add like a phone number down here and like discounts up here.